Hey everyone, Rick here, and folks, welcome back to another Battlefields of Mana unit review. We're still talking Mercenaries. In this case, this is one of the most unique units in the game. You are looking at the Mana Shard Cannon. All right, so what makes a mercenary unit unique? Well, first of all, you have to earn the right to even include a mercenary unit in your army. And second, you can only include one of them in your army. Unlike, if you're playing Lunar Knights or Regal Guard, you can include up to four of those, any kind of units, archers, bowmen, whatever you want. Crossbowmen, I mean. Up to four of each of those units. Mercenaries, though, you can only include one of each different type of mercenary in your army. Now, what did I mean by you had to earn the right to even use them? That's right. Mercenaries are a unique bunch. They want to know that they're being hired by someone worthy. So, what you do as a player, you say, well, in future battles, I'd like to have the option to include a mana shard cannon in my army. So you find an opponent, they're going to put together a marauder army and include the mercenary unit you want to eventually be eligible for in that army. You then play the battle, of course, you playing as Lunar Knights or Regal Guard or what have you. And then if you win, from then on, every future battle, you have the option of including that army. And of course, then maybe next time you're like, well, now I also want to include mountain dwarves. And then you do the whole thing again. So every time you want a new mercenary army, you have to beat them in battle, and then you've earned the right. So for example, Mana Shard Cannon here has a banner bearer depicting Marauders. That may be how they look when you are first facing them, but after beating them and claiming ownership, you then get to, when you use them, stick your own banner bearer there. For example, if you're a Regal Guard fan, put a generic Regal Guard banner bearer with the Mana Shard Cannon. So why may you want to include a Mana Shard Cannon in your Battlefields of Mana army? Oh my God, folks. This unit is absolutely one of the most unique things that I have ever, not to toot my own horn, but come up with in game design. It literally has almost an entire page of rules all on its own. Let's go down the line. Attack dice, mana tokens. What does that mean? Well, we'll talk about that in a second, but essentially for every mana token you spend, you get to roll a die. Also, and that's in range. Now in melee, because you definitely don't want the Mana Shard Cannon to get caught up in a close combat attack, but if it happens, it's one die per crew member. Then combat strength is when it is shooting, it is +1 in range. Armor value of 1, so whether it's being shot at or close combated against, it only takes 2s or more to hit it. However, defensively, against ranged attacks, for example, the crew might hide behind the machine, it is +1 to the defense dice. The range is the entire length of the board, starting from the cannon, going in the direction that it's pointing. A flame template. I don't have one out here with me, but it is a long, curved, it starts kind of narrow, then gets bigger and bulbous and curves around with a half circle at the end, starting at the tip of the cannon all the way to the opposite end of the board, wherever it's pointing. That is what its range is, and it affects everything, friend and foe, in that line of fire. Now it has a movement of 3 inches, so it can move up to 3 inches in a movement action, or using both movement actions, it can move up to 6. I don't think it cannot, yeah, it can't, okay, so it actually can, and this is unlike the Siege Engine, which was not able to move and shoot in the same turn. The Arcane Cannon can, so you can pivot it in one turn and fire it. Now, if you move it twice, move it up to 6 inches, you do not get to fire in the same turn. And then initiative is +2, so God forbid you do get into close combat. You can see these crew members are actually kind of like dragonkin, so they're not the worst melee fighters either. So in close combat, they do add +2 to their initiative roll. Health is 6, and that's denoted by each crew member having 2 HP. So as you know, you take every 2 wounds you take, you remove a crew member. Crew members are just abstractly put around the device itself. They don't block line of sight. You can't attack a crew member itself. You get into base contact with the cannon. These don't block movement, so if someone wants to get into the back of the cannon, you just move the figure around, or not even have these on the table. You could have the crew off the table if that's easier for you. And then the ability is the Arcane Cannon. We'll talk about that in a second. And then the cost is 7 points. The second most expensive unit in the game. Okay. So let's go through what the Arcane Cannon does exactly. It is a war machine. During Phase 3 ranged combat, the Arcane Cannon may absorb mana and fire its cannon in the same turn, or save some or all of the mana to be spent during a future turn. While the Arcane Cannon does not suffer from the move to fire penalty if it fires its cannon in the same turn that it moved once, it cannot fire the cannon that it moved in the same turn if it moved twice. So, to absorb mana, roll the War Machine Misfire die, which is the 6-sided die with 5 faces of numerical values and a single face indicating a misfire. If the die results in one of the 5 faces showing a numerical value, collect that much mana. The Arcane Cannon cannot possess more than 12 mana tokens at any time. Any mana collected over 12 is lost. Keep any mana absorbed by the cannon separate from any mana channeled by your sorcerer or magic user. If the misfire symbol is rolled when absorbing mana, roll a d6. The Arcane Cannon either takes a wound on a result of 1 to 3 or nothing happens on a 4 to 6. When firing, every mana token spent equals 1d6 worth of attack dice. Discard all mana spent. Place the Arcane Cannon's specialized long-rounded template in front of the cannon, directly parallel with the cannon, straight out front, largest end furthest away. The cannon's range extends straight out till it hits the opposite board edge. All units and single figures that the template touches are affected, including friendly units and single figures. Every unit, single figure touched by the template, each take the full value of the attack. Just like with other range attacks, single figure attached to a unit is protected, blah, blah, blah. While only one range attack roll is made, each unit single figure's range attack defense separately. The Arcane Cannon benefits from volley. Oh my god, that means 6s explode. And +1 to its range attack combat strength. We already saw that in the combat strength modifier on the stat card. No defensive special abilities or modifiers may be used against the Arcane Cannon's attack, and defenders do not receive cover bonuses. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, this shot is shooting across the entire battlefield. It's going to do up to 12 d6 worth of damage. What else? They're all +1, no defensive modifiers. Natural 6s explode, which can result in additional attack dice. So for 7 points, you are blasting just death across the battlefield, and I love it. All right, folks, that is it. That is the Mana Shard Cannon. It is an Arcane Cannon. Thank you all so much for watching. I do truly appreciate it, and until next time.